Everyone's staring at me. Awkward highs and awkward goodbyes. Scuttle round the corner, hide behind a bookshelf and cry. Self-doubt creeps in and I go silent, self shut in, the book closes, but I want to be open, honest and vulnerable. Can I ask you a question? I'm going to ask you a question. Now, being really open and honest, all I want is to be met with care, love, and empathy and compassion. Do you think you can do that? Do you think that I deserve that? Do we think that everyone deserves that? A city of care is a city of curiosity. They say that curiosity killed the cat, but I don't think that's true. I mean, I hope not anyways, because I really like cats, so I don't really want them to be dead. It just feels a little scaremongery, a little finger stern wagging, telling you that's not your place and to stay in your lane. But if we all stayed in our lane and only cared about the things that directly affected us, then we wouldn't really get anywhere, would we? A city of care is accepting the unknown, unafraid, it welcomes discomfort, even embraces it, and all of its potentialities. Does that make sense? I feel like I need to pull apart the bits of myself to make this make sense, but I speak because I want to speak. I dance because I want to dance. I am not your monkey, and I am tired of answering to you. What's your name? What's your address? What is your surname and forename and your mother's maiden name? What's your ethnicity? And tick the relevant box. What is your nationality? Tick the relevant box and fill in the answer where it says other. What's your place of birth? Where are you from and where are you really from? Where are you going? What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? What is your sexual orientation and your gender orientation? Are you disabled? Are you neurodiverse? What is your class and who are you? And who am I? Question mark. Where do I go from here? I feel like I can't go forward without looking back. What's my lineage? What's my herstory? I want to know. What makes us who we are? Be curious, question and queer. Throw questions to the wind and let them scatter and spread like dandelion fluff, planting seeds of curiosity's lust to love, to care, to want to know more. For why else are we here and what is this for? Go deeper, delve, discover. Question and queer why the world is the way that it is. Question the systems, question the structures and the institution that pinned us as other. Let's not forget our trans siblings. Besides, women can't be free unless we deconstruct the gender binary, because what's to say we should be X or Y? I'd rather sit on the margins myself and let myself decide who I am and who I want to be. Let all your questions allow the colours to mix and blend together into a murky brown where you will find me and you and us. Intrinsically linked and undefinable, interconnected and inseparable. Does that make sense? Are you understanding me correctly? Am I making sense to you? Am I going about it the wrong way? Maybe, what if I say it like, or, no, that's not quite.
Let's take a moment to pause, to stop the daily grinds, the overthinking in the mind, the constant list of to-dos, except my list of to-don'ts feels much longer. A moment to pause, enabling things to slow down, to break things up a bit, a chance to understand the structure of who I am. Trying, wanting, hoping to be able to communicate, except sometimes I don't quite know where to place it. The pause. Because if I place that pause in the wrong place, then it could be misconstrued and you might see me differently. Hear me differently to my intention just by looking at me. So if I misplace my pause, you might question my ability, might see me as weak. Or perhaps a pause is a challenge to you because you might have to read it differently because you were taught about a structure and understood better than I did, because it was communicated to you differently to me. But wait, let me just pause. See, it's okay to have many of them because it means that there is more to come, more to say. Yet so many say they are still unsure how to use them, how to place them, because they change the meaning if placed in a different space. Are you still with me? Sometimes it can be placed to interrupt a space, to prevent the flow, and that can be jarring, and I think you might find me jarring. But sometimes I pause in order to prevent a misreading of my intended meaning, so I constantly check myself, check my permission, check my distinction, check my articulation, check my position, check the tone of voice, check the level of my noise to prevent misreading of my intention. Let me just pause. See, pausing can be an act of self-care, so you don't say something you shouldn't say, an act of censorship, removing yourself from a situation or someone that is interrupting your pause, who intends to stop you in your tracks, to take you back to the same place, the same space you work so hard to no longer be in. Suffocating. So you pause. To take care, no longer sharing every bit of you that people seem to want to take and manipulate, resulting in a grievance on the mind. Let me just pause. Like a comma is a pause. A comma has rules of its usage. It's abused, misused, used to introduce, to clarify, help make something make sense. Await, comma. Do you get my meaning?
I'll trade your comma for a pause. I'll trade your comma for a quote written by me. I quote myself because I am that bitch. I am that queen. In this book I bring with me 23 pages. I want to scatter my words all over this city. I want to put my capital letters next to lowercase letters and merge the two together like a building that can never be broken. I want you to read my pages and think, what the hell is going on? I unapologetically don't make sense. And if I unapologetically don't make sense, then I unapologetically don't care. You see, my ink is different shades of black, brown, and black, underlining the black. I'm exactly that. My words are so unique that you will have to find ways to articulate and process, to wrap your lips around my story's so complex that my dots go head to head, static. If my words could walk all over this city, they would cause traffic. If her story is my story, then our story has no full stops. We turn our pages, we pronounce our verses like a spiky black dot. Eat it. Swallow it. Drink it. I hope it passes through you and you shit it out. I hope it rattles through your stomach and stirs up an awakening. Roll it around your tongue like a hot pot of curry goat. You don't want to spit it out. You don't want to ever spit me out. I trade your questioning for demanding answers, your commas for comfort. Just know that your three dots are massive pillars that are meant to be seen and heard. Is that clear? When you can't get your words out, lean on me. When your commas place themselves into sentences, let me help you force them there. My upper cases are your lower cases. Our chapters are so entwined that these 23 pages just keep multiplying. You don't even know the vibe that I'm on. I am history in the making. I want to scream celebratory slurs at yours, hers, and yours, hers, and she's ours. She's our story. If I am chapter 4, then she is 3 and 2 and 1. Munch on our jumbled letters and words as we speak to you. Because I am speaking to you, you are going to hear me speak to you.
We started with punctuation.
Comma, question mark, full stop.
But there was also ellipses.
Dot.
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 3 little dots instead. 3 little dots, yet so much unsaid. She uses the ellipsis as not to offend. Subtract her thoughts and emotions. In their absence, she just places 3 little dots. Each dot representing part of her. Each dot representing something she doesn't want you to see. Each dot seeming smaller to you, but massive to her. Her trauma.
Dot.
Her history. Dot. The unspoken parts of her identity. Dot. Her ellipsis eclipses her.
All you see is 3 little dots, but there is so much more. Words unspoken because she deemed them as not important, but they are because they are relevant to her. The 3 little dots you'll no longer see because they only censor her. She thinks it's time to start living in parentheses. No longer afraid to digress. Unlike the 3 dots, a parentheses leaves nothing unsaid. Not dots, brackets instead. And yes, sometimes their content may seem not important, but it always remains relevant.
Parentheses can capture so much. They hold the ability to amaze, amuse, and surprise and amplify. Additions to give more context, to add more meaning. Additions to allow us to understand a little more. Because she is more. I am more. So let's start adding parentheses. No unsaid. The main story is what you see, but she needs parentheses in order to explain her.
We started with punctuation.
A comma, a question mark, full stop.
And her ellipses.
Dot.
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 But we aren't satisfied just yet.
An exclamation mark is needed.
So we exclaim to you, us, our stories, our individualities, and her story.
Exclaim to you,
the measure
us,
of a society
stories,
is how it treats the stories that reside within it.
And
So we exclaim to you, us, our stories, our individualities, and her stories. The measure of a society is how it treats the stories that reside within it.
And we exclaim to you.